But no, I saw Hereditary last night. It was my first ever IMAX experience. I was like, how different can this be? Well, obviously the screen is fucking massive, but the sound design is insane. I mean, it was so goddamn loud. Yeah, I hadn't seen obviously Hereditary in theaters since 2018. So
how packed was the theater?
Not that packed. There was like maybe 30, 40 people there.
Hereditary is one that anyone should see in the theaters. Even if they didn't like it the first time and, watch it at home, it's a whole different experience in the theater.
Yeah, because the sound design really does like fully immerse you. Towards, the last 30 minutes of the movie, the tension just keeps building and building. And I had that same feeling as the first time I saw it, where I was like, I am very uncomfortable and I'm kind of ready for this to end. Even though I've seen it like 5 times at this point.
It's so good when a movie can put you back in that mood, no matter how many times you've seen it. I mean, Hereditary is, again, we could go on a Hereditary tangent for hours and hours.
Yeah.
There's just so much like lore and atmosphere and intricate details to that movie. But like, man, seeing it on the IMAX screen, I totally wish I went. But I did want to ask you, where's your like theater seat placement usually? Where do you usually like to park that ass?
I like to park that ass. Let's see.
Girl, you look good when you park that ass up.
I mean, obviously you prefer the middle, kind of like dead center of the theater. If you can, if you get your tickets in time and you don't fuck around and wait till like the last day. There's been times where I wait the last hour and I'm like, I take the last seat and it's in the corner on the front row. So you're looking like this. But yeah, of course, like somewhere in the middle. I feel like you're a back of the theater guy. You're like that little goblin that hangs out in the back corner.
You're partially right. If there is, because I will buy a ticket to, usually it's the center towards the left. I like the center left. I like to be either dead center in the middle or middle left.
Okay.
Or if the theater's packed, I'll usually buy that ticket. And then if this theater's packed, if I don't want to sit next to anyone, then I just sit in the handicap seats and then just park it all the way back there.
Damn.
Then I have like a seat to myself. I can put my jacket, my fanny pack on there.
Let me ask you this. I had this internal dilemma last night. Okay, so the movie starts and I'm like, okay, well, there's plenty of, I could move up to this next row and we wouldn't hear the guy's feet right behind our heads right here and hear him snacking on popcorn. Do you get up and take that seat? And this guy's going to be like, oh, what the fuck did I do? Or do you just say, no, this is my seat. I got to live with it. Are you?
I will play musical fucking chairs in any theater. If I see an empty seat and people are being assholes in front of me or behind me, or they won't stop talking, or they keep on playing on their phones, immediate move.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, this guy was perfectly polite, but at the same time, I'm like, it's just the noise of being human. I have a thing about noises where I'm just like, I don't know. I get.
I mean, a movie theater is a sacred place.
Sure.
People should be off their phones. They should chew at a normal volume. I'm the type of person too to like. I don't talk through movies, but like I'll like make exclamations and be like, "Oh shit, damn!"
Ooh. I consider that talking. If you were behind me, I'd be like, "Hey, I get it, fella. Keep it to yourself."
I'm not screaming it though. Does that matter?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm not like, oh, like getting up and screaming. I'm like to myself. most of the time I'm by myself watching a movie.
Okay.
So I'm like, ooh, and like at like a pretty low volume.
So why didn't you go see Hereditary last night?
Wasn't playing in a theater around me.
Where did Holly go to see it?
Holly went to go see it in Farmingdale, which is about 25 minutes away from here.
I thought you'd be like, okay, I'm taking off work, got my ticket, I'm going, I don't care.
So funny enough, so last week when they went on sale or whatever, I texted Holly, I'm like, let's go see Hereditary. And she's like, I bought my tickets already. And I was like, oh shit. And she was like, oh yeah, I bought mine really quick because I didn't want them to sell out. And I was like, oh yeah, like yeah, I totally want it. But she would have to go out of the way to pick me up. And I was like, I didn't end up buying a ticket because I was like, I saw it in theaters already. I would like to see it in IMAX, but it just didn't work out.
Okay. Well, I can't say you didn't miss out because, man, I kind of felt the same way. I was like, well, I have seen it several times. I don't, IMAX tickets aren't cheap. It was like $50 for 2 tickets.
Oh, wow.
20-minute drive. But I went and, I was fully immersed. I was back in 2018, just like on the edge of my seat. That movie is a masterclass of ratcheting tension and just not letting up.
And I feel like that's what you have to give Beau is Afraid credit on, even if I know you didn't like the movie, but the tension in that movie, in a lot of the scenes, like Ari Aster does that very well. I feel like in every one of his movies, he kind of just plays with your mind and really sets up a lot of scenes with a lot of tension. It's not just like bam, 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 quick cuts and everything. He like stays in the pocket.
While I was watching Hereditary, I had this thought, and I think it's one of the only movies I've ever seen. There might be a couple others where you kind of get this feeling like I shouldn't be seeing this. It's like almost like I feel like something bad is gonna happen to me because I'm watching this, and like something is gonna fucking follow me home. Like I kind of want to leave. I don't know. It got to me last night.
Do you think that's why some people don't enjoy it? Because it makes them feel so like unsettled that they're like, you know what? I just don't even like this movie. But
I don't know. And we talked about this last night. There's a slew of fucking bozos out there that are like, I don't like Hereditary. Like, okay. I mean, hey, you got to respect people's opinions, right? But
yes,
if you're a horror movie fan and you think Hereditary sucks, I question your judgment. I really do.
I mean, I totally understand that everyone has their own tastes of certain genres, but also I'm with you. I feel like Hereditary is that unifying thing that I would imagine every horror movie lover would be into. It has tension, it has scares, there's a story, it's terrifying, dreadful. I could use a whole bunch of other adjectives. But to use the word masterclass again, like you just used, the movie was just executed perfectly. And I've heard the argument that, oh yeah, I enjoyed it up until the last, 20 minutes or 10 minutes. And I was like,
why?
Well, without that, you wouldn't have the same movie. I mean, it totally flips the story on its head because you don't realize that it's about, this cult that kind of set this family up for their own demise until the last, couple minutes of the movie.
Yeah, the whole end of the movie from the second where Peter wakes up, sits up on his bed, and Toni Collette is just in the fucking corner. Yeah. Every moment from there on out is just like, my nerves are just fucking done. I mean, especially seeing it in IMAX.
And let me just tell you, and I'm sure it was amazing in IMAX, that you felt even more of that like dread.
Yeah.
the perfection of the silent jump scare when Toni Collette is on the ceiling and the camera slowly pans out. I mean, how did that look on IMAX? Because like you have the aspect ratio is larger.
Yeah, I was gonna say like,
so does that work on the bigger screen?
Oh yeah, it definitely, like, you see everything perfectly, and that whole sequence of Peter waking up. Every time I watch it, I catch new things. When Peter's walking down the hallway, you hear like this loud kind of crash, and he notices it, but he doesn't go and check it out. And I was like, oh, that was the attic door opening and the ladder hitting the floor. So the cult members were already in the attic. So they were like, okay, well, he's either going to come up the attic and check it out, and we have him then, or he's going to go downstairs and Annie is going to chase him up the stairs. And Annie slips as she's chasing him. I think that was intentional.
Well, she's already possessed, so I don't think anything was an accident.
Yeah. Nothing in that movie, everything is so meticulous and nothing is accidental. Like right down to the background actors, the fucking jewelry they're wearing. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even catch that the first time.
It's genius. I love movies that make you pay attention. I love challenging, I love some garbage too, but like the movies that like really make you focus and really make you pay attention and like challenge you as a viewer, which is why I like Skinamarink so much. It's a challenge of a movie to watch on a different level than Hereditary.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But it was Hereditary was next level something else that I think kind of hard to replicate, but it seems like every couple years one of those movies come out that you're like, oh, reinvention of the horror genre, let's go. Hereditary was that, definitely in 2018.
Yeah, and I don't think that since it came out, I mean, there's been some movies that kind of came close, but I mean, Hereditary's king. You know what other movie I kind of got that same feeling like, ooh, this feels like I shouldn't be seeing this. Like I'm looking at something that, like The Witch kind of gives me those same vibes.
That movie I need to rewatch, and I think I'm going to rewatch it tonight. As soon as I finish Rain Man, I'm going to put on The Witch. Weird back-to-back double feature.
As soon as I finish Rain Man, I'm going to put on The Witch.